Hey friend, welcome to the Halfway to Dead podcast. I'm your host, Jen Lovell. Listen, you and I have reached that age where we are done with the bullshit. We know that midlife is our chance to flip the script and experience life on our own terms. It's time to reconnect with our higher selves and reclaim our inner peace. Are you ready with an open heart and an open mind? Awesome, you're in the right place. Hop in and ride shotgun with me on this midlife spiritual journey. Hey guys, welcome back to the Halfway to Dead podcast. Guess what? This is another solo edition. It's just you and Jen hitting the road on the old midlife spiritual journey. So first, I have some big news. I have some fun news. We talked about it in the last one, but it's here. It's time, you guys. I have a new podcast series starting the first Monday in November. So like next week. So it's called The Halfway to Dead. It's a mini edition, Wellness Wisdom. So all of the episodes will be shorter, little micro doses of little bite-sized pieces of information that focus on caring for our aging body, both our physical and our mental health, because I believe that our mental health affects our physical health and vice versa. And both of those play into this spiritual journey. Okay. So they're going to drop every Monday. And they'll be short. Probably the longest so far is kind of 30 minutes, but a lot of them are just 15, 10, just quick episodes, you guys. Some will feature me talking with experts about different health issues, asking all the questions we're all thinking. And some will just be me sharing my wellness wisdom that I've gained in my own health journey. So I'm going to share information that you can implement into your life if it resonates with you, to help you along your spiritual journey by making your body and your mind healthier. Okay. We have to address our physical, emotional, and spiritual health so that we can live at a high vibe and finish this whole life strong. Am I right? And this stuff, you guys, I'm not going to just do all the stuff everybody is covering. I know what you guys have already heard. I know what's already out there. So I'm going to try and introduce you guys to different things maybe you haven't heard of or tried yet. That's the goal anyway. So make sure you go to the website if you have specific things that you want to learn about. I will find the expert. So you just send them in. Email me. There's that little way you can text through the podcast. Just get it to me and I'll figure it out for you. I'll find the guest. So do that. And then also make sure you're subscribing or following the Halfway to Dead podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, because you do not want to miss these. And it'll let you know when these drop too on Mondays. Okay. So on with today's episode. Last time we had our little solo talk, we talked about how important it is to protect your energy during your spiritual journey. So today I want to talk about taking your energy back. Okay. Because it's not just about protecting the energy you already have, but letting go of things that are just sucking the energy right out of you. And I bet you already have a couple things that come to mind. So here's what got me thinking about this. I love fall. Fall is my favorite time of year. Okay, not because of the pumpkin spice. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just get this off my chest right now. I am not a pumpkin spice girl. I know. Gasp. Let me just do my full confessional. I don't even drink coffee, you guys. I have never drank coffee. Love the smell, hate the taste. Anyway, I can hear it now. You're all like, how does she even function? But listen, I love fall because I love the trees. I love how the leaves change colors and the trees instinctively know when to let go. We can learn so much from these trees. Hear me out. Just like trees shed their leaves as the season changes, we need to embrace this new season we're heading into and release all of the things that no longer benefit us. So let me just throw a little tree science at you. All right. I'm going to take you back to grade school, like fifth grade or whenever we learned about this stuff. All right. So listen, why do trees even have leaves? Okay. Trees have leaves because they provide nutrients and energy. Like, pretty sure my science teacher in like maybe fourth or fifth grade talked about this, like photosynthesis, water regulation, nutrient cycling. But in return, the tree is pulling water from its roots to provide it back to the leaves. Okay, so the tree is getting as much energy from the leaves as they are giving to the leaves. It's a win-win, you guys, right? Leaves are vital to the tree in the right season. Let me repeat that. leaves are vital to the tree. This is the important part, in the right season. And then the season starts to change. And because we have shorter daylight hours, cooler temperatures, less water, the tree can't provide the leaves with what they need without sacrificing itself. Because by losing those leaves, the tree is able to conserve energy. And listen, if the tree doesn't, it will not have enough energy for the essential things it needs to survive the coming season and get back to spring when everything gets amazing again. Does this sound familiar? Do you see where I'm going with this? We are the tree, you guys. So let's talk about it. First of all, are you heading into a new season? I'm going to guess that if you're listening to this podcast, the answer is yes, because you're either heading into your spiritual awakening, new season, or you're dealing with this transition of midlife, which is a whole new season too. So let's dig in and talk about what we can do to be brave enough to let the leaves holding us back fall. It's time. And just as a fun side note, this is another tree fact. As a fun side note, trees also start losing their leaves due to hormonal change. Okay, there's a hormonal acid that the tree starts releasing to signal the leaves to start changing colors, come up with the new plan leaves, and fall off, which is one more way us midlifers are just like trees. This is why I love the trees so much. I'm figuring it out. Okay, so here's the first thing we have to do. The first thing we have to do is we have to embrace the change and accept that we are heading into a new season of life. All right, that's the first thing. We have to embrace it and accept it. Because just like the trees shed their leaves and prepare for the colder months, we have to embrace change as a natural part of our life. And listen, change can be uncomfortable. I know this. I've been going through it. It can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary for us to learn and grow and regain that inner peace we talk about, right? Connect with our higher selves and gain back our inner peace. So this season of transition may initially feel like a loss, but you are just paving the way for new possibilities. And I know from experience that it's much easier to stay in denial because listen, denial is not your friend. Yes, sometimes it's necessary, right? To lock stuff away and pretend it's not happening. I'm fine. We all say we're fine, right? That's survival mode. That's what that is. And it has a place. It definitely has its place, but it's time for you to unlock that shit and deal with it. Right? We've got to deal with it so that we can move on to bigger and better things. And listen, you aren't in this alone. You're not the only one. I share stories and my guests have shared stories that prove we all have our own stuff. Okay. And if you have people in your life right now that promote you staying in denial and not working towards being your very best self, guess what? They're a leaf that needs to fall from the old tree. Okay. So listen, now you've accepted that you're heading into a new season. You've come to terms with it. You're good with it. What now? What do you got to do now? Well, now we have to let go. We got to release those damn leaves, you guys. We have to realize the importance of letting go of what no longer serves us. So let's talk about these leaves versus other little structures like the old branches. So for me, in my mind, branches are things or people that we don't usually change with different seasons of our lives. Those branches, they depend on us ditching those leaves too, because it allows us to nurture them during their difficult season too. So sometimes we have so many leaves we're hanging on to, we forget how important our branches really are. So your branches might be close family or friends. It could be a job you love or a hobby you love. And so what I mean by close family, I'm talking about kids, parents, siblings, all of that kind of stuff. People that are really fundamental in your life. Maybe you have that one friend that's been with you forever, your ride or die. You know, she or he, they're a branch, right? You've got an amazing job. All right, well, that's a branch, right? You've got a hobby you love. Yep, branch. We don't really want to lose those. But don't get me wrong. Sometimes those branches are going to break off. Usually because you're in the midst of a dark, stormy time in your life. You may go through some shit in your life that causes a branch or two to break off, and that's okay too. But today we're going to focus on the leaves. Okay. The branches breaking off. That's a bigger job. But today I want to talk about all these leaves. So what is it time for you to let go of? How do you know when it's time to let go? Well, let me tell you when it's time. When whatever it is becomes an energy suck and you're getting nothing in return. Okay. So when we are no longer getting energy in return, we need to let it go because a new season needs to begin in your life. And it cannot happen until you let go of all the things that no longer serve you. You got to clear that path so you can keep walking it. So I just want you to start asking yourself, is holding on holding you back? Do you see what I'm saying? Is holding on to those leaves and those things holding you back? I'm going to guess a lot of those leaves are holding you back. And so I want to go over some of our common leaves, things we all have. And after this episode, I want you to go through and make your own list. Type it into your phone, get a piece of paper, whatever you love, make a list. I love a good list of everything that is requiring your energy right now. Okay, not your branches, just the leaves. Okay, and then start considering which of those things or people or situations aren't reciprocating that energy back to you. Because in order to grow and be strong, we need to surround ourselves with people and situations that give us a positive return. You need things to be at your vibration or preferably higher to lift you up. That's the whole point, right? We want to lift up higher and higher. All right. So as I go over these, listen, if any of these jump out to you and you're thinking, I feel like she's talking directly to me, then guess what? Yes, I am. I see you out there. I talk to a lot of people. I know what's going on. And I want to tell you this. You need to trust your intuition while doing this, you guys. You know exactly what needs to change in your life, and you have the power to change it. But sometimes we have to kind of, take this season, this fall season, and figure out which leaves we need to let go of, right? So figure out what your energy level is, because who we surround ourselves with affects our energy level. You need to surround yourself with things and people that elevate your energy. And listen, you should be doing the same for others too. This goes both ways. Okay, guys, let's go over these leaves. Let's talk about different things that you probably need to drop in your life so that you have room for the amazing things coming. All right, the first one I want to talk about is limiting beliefs. Outdated beliefs about ourselves, our abilities, or what we deserve can hold us back. We have to shed these beliefs so that we can open doors to new opportunities. So this might be connected with maybe you have some low self-esteem. Maybe you don't think you can accomplish what you want to accomplish, right? You don't think you're ever going to get that really good job. You never think you're going to be at a place where you can relax and not worry about the bills so much. You don't think you're pretty enough to get a really quality partner. I don't know, whatever it is, we all have them. So think about what limiting beliefs you have. And number 2, this is a big one, guys, toxic relationships. You know what I'm talking about. Relationships that are draining or negative can totally hinder our personal growth. If we let go of those connections, it's going to allow us for a healthier, more supportive relationships to flourish in our lives. You know what I'm talking about. It's those people who you're around and you just get that ick feeling. You're like, I don't like, no, this isn't my person. And they might even be like a friend. You may have friends that just, that person. It's always about them. They always have all kinds of problems and you try and help them with their problems, but they never listen. And so the next time you see them, you got to go through all the same problems and you're never getting anything back in return. You're putting all your energy into this friendship and they're just like, they're just sucking all the energy out of you. All right. Think about if you have any friends like that. Could be your partner, guys. I know we talked about the branches, and yes, your partner could definitely be a branch, but also, I don't know, they might not be. So think about that. It could be distant family, that cousin that's always asking to borrow money. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, toxic relationships. And listen, it's not just toxic relationships that sometimes are the leaves we need to let fall. It could be something or a person who served a purpose in your past, but it's no longer needed. Things like your friendships, your coworkers, those change with your seasons naturally. New adventures, new growth, new things you're up to in your life come with new people and new experiences. For instance, like when my kids were growing up, I had a lot of friends with kids in the same age group. Okay. We've got our baseball mom friends, our theater mom friends. We've got, whatever, if you've got kids, whatever they're into, that's kind of where you find your friendships. That's where you need nurtured, right? Like-minded people. Or maybe it's a certain job that you used to have. I've had a bunch of jobs, and with each one came amazing friendships, but they didn't all stick. They didn't all last, and that's okay, right? They didn't stick for me. I didn't stick for them. That's okay. You can totally look back at that with full appreciation. And those people are still special in my heart. Like sometimes I'll think about them and be like, wow, I kind of wonder what she's up to. I miss her, right? But you don't have to feel guilty about letting those leaves fall. We're transitioning. We're midlifers. We get different things going on. So some of our friendships and our old coworkers, they're going to fall away. And that's no big deal, right? Okay, here's another big one. If you've got an unfulfilling career, you may love your job. If you love your job, yes, put that in the bonus side. You may love your job, but I know there's a lot of people out there that do not love their job. Okay, jobs or career paths that no longer resonate with our values or our passions can stifle our personal development. So transitioning to a more fulfilling role can rejuvenate our energy, raise our vibes. And I know what you're thinking. I can't just quit my job, Jen. Like, I got bills. I get it. But there are other ways. We'll talk about it. There's other things you can do because you might be able to rearrange. Maybe it's time to downsize your house. Maybe you adjust your spending habits where maybe you can go part-time for a little bit. Or maybe you start a side hustle that excites you, right? You've got your 9 to 5 and then you've got a side hustle you want to get started on. Or maybe there's a career you've always wanted to do that you may need some more training for. Okay, so you keep your job, you're paying your bills, but you're filling your cup, you're raising your vibe because, I don't know, you've always wanted to be a real estate agent and you've signed up for those real estate classes in the evening. Or you've signed up for some college classes that are going to lead you towards a new career. Heck, you may want to be a life coach or something. And there's classes you can sign up for that. This doesn't have to be formal education. You could get certifications. You could do all kinds of things. Maybe you love yoga and you would love to get your certification in yoga. So by pursuing these other things along with your current career, your current job, that job becomes less important in fulfilling you. It's paying the bills, which needs to be done, right? But you've got to find a little something to go along with it to fulfill you until you can make that change. Spend a little time updating the old resume and putting some feelers out. You can do this. You are not stuck where you are. Or listen, maybe you're in that point where you're like, I just got to get through 5 more years so that I can retire from this shit. Okay. So yes, you're going to put those 5 years in, but we're going to find something else to do that's going to make us happy and fulfilled while we're finishing out that career. So that's one of those leaves that may take a little longer to fall. That's okay. Okay, this is a big one. Negative habits and behaviors. Okay, so habits that lead you to emotional or physical harm can be seen as leaves that need to drop so that you can make room and have the energy for healthier practices. So what am I talking about? You may have something that already popped into your mind when I said that, but it could be alcohol, right? Maybe you've been thinking about not drinking alcohol anymore because you feel terrible. You know it's lowering your vibe. So you're going to stop that. Okay. That might be one of your leaves that need to fall. It could be a different substance. And I'm not here to judge. Listen, whatever you're doing out there, that's your business. But really stop and think, is this raising my vibration? Is this making my life better or not? Really start thinking it through. It could also be like for me, I have like a sugar addiction, you guys, and it's not healthy and I'm diabetic and it's bad and I've got to work on it. So I know this is one of my leaves. Could be smoking. You've been trying to quit for forever and now's the time. Okay, let's do it. Let's quit it. It could be things like procrastination, anger management. There's all kinds of little habits we have that probably need to fall off right about now. Here's another one. Past traumas and grievances. Okay. Yeah. We're all holding on to past pain and resentment, right? And it's like carrying dead weight. It's like filling our bag with a bunch of stones and boulders that we were never meant to carry, right? So working through that stuff and releasing those feelings can really get some healing and growth going. Remember, we've talked a lot about reframing and releasing. So that could be a leaf. Don't worry, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about some things you can do for these as you're going through this process, but I just want you to start thinking about what your list is of things that you need to start letting go of. Here's another one: material clutter, all this stuff, physical possessions that no longer serve a purpose in your life. They create mental and emotional clutter. Things like you're hanging on to all those clothes that don't fit. They don't fit. It's time to come to the realization they don't fit. And even if they do fit, you can be ready to buy new clothes. Guys, don't worry about those dang clothes that don't fit anymore. We also have a lot of, I have a lot of kitchen gadgets, right? Remember when we all bought that damn bread machine, yogurt maker, all the stuff, the little waffle press that has Pokemon in the middle. You know what I'm talking about? All that crap laying around in the kitchen and in our closets. Broken stuff. My dad was a big one on this. He got rid of nothing. Listen, we might need it someday. It's broken, but maybe I'll fix it someday. Are you thinking that? You got a bunch of DIY projects all over your house that you're saving up. Are you really going to do it? Maybe not. Time to get rid of some of that, right? It could even be something really big. It could be like your house. Maybe it's time to downsize and you're so connected to your home that you're having trouble doing it. It could be overspending habits, stuff like that. You're just buying stuff to feel better. I mean, we all do that, right? We order a bunch of stuff, we go buy things, we feel better for a little bit. Okay, so it's all these things. We have to start getting rid of some of that clutter. So think about what some of those things are in your house. What's in that old junk drawer, guys? Okay, here's another one. Old goals and aspirations. So goals that no longer align with who we are or what we want can become a serious burden. Okay, so we have to start reevaluating and redefining our aspirations, right? That's like an essential part of our little personal spiritual journey or personal evolution. Okay, the things that you wanted in your 20s, they aren't the same anymore. 30s, not the same anymore. 40s, not the same anymore. So sit down and start thinking about, why am I still working towards goals that I don't even care about anymore? See if that's one for you. We also have a lot of old patterns of thinking. Okay, so I know people who they're always negative, right? They're in a pattern of thinking, ruminating about the same stuff. Everything's always negative, 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 negative. So start thinking about that. Start thinking about why you're always expecting the worst, why you're overthinking, because that can limit our ability to embrace new experiences and adopt a more flexible mindset. And just doing that can be very transformative, you guys. Some of us have a fear of change. We have a fear that's just like preventing us from stepping into new phases of our life, like this midlife thing. Okay. We got to let go of fear so we can embrace the unknown. There's good stuff out there waiting for us, guys. There really is. There's a lot of possibilities. So let's get rid of fear. Let's let that leaf fall. We're not going to be scared anymore. And here's another one: conformity to societal expectations. Okay. What's that mean? It could be your religion. It could be something you've been conforming to your whole life because you were raised that way. You were indoctrinated into a certain religion or pattern of thinking in your family. And maybe it just doesn't feel right for you anymore. And that's scary. We've talked about that in some other episodes, but that can be a real scary block to this whole season of change. So really start thinking about, what are your truths? What do you believe? What do you believe to be true without worrying about what anybody else thinks? It could be other societal stuff. It could be your sexuality. I don't know. I know a lot of people who have figured out in midlife that they are part of the LGBTQ community, right? What a beautiful thing to start being your authentic self. So that might be something. Maybe societal expectations have been holding you back from doing that. It could be anything. It could be simple stuff like the haircut you really want, but you don't, it's not in style right now, so you're not getting it. No, get that fucking haircut. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. We have to stop caring what the rest of the world and the rest of society tells us we should be doing. Let's do our own thing. Yeah. Okay. You're probably starting to figure out what leaves need to fall for you. So I just want you to do this and evaluate this so you can release them and be open to all the new excitings that's coming next. So before we go to what's next after we get rid of all these leaves, I want to talk about some tips so that you can accomplish getting rid of all this stuff we just talked about. Okay. So releasing these metaphorical leaves in our lives involves some intentional actions and practices that allow us to let go of what no longer serves us. So here's some practical examples of how we can do this. And listen, I'm going to go through these quickly, knowing that we have many episodes coming up that are going to go over these. We have episodes you can go back and listen to again that talk about some of this stuff. So I'm not going to dig in super deep to each one. I just want these things to start sparking ideas in your mind. And then you can do a deep dive into any of this. Whatever's calling to you, whatever resonates with you, do a deep dive into it. This was meant for you to hear. So, number 1, journaling, you guys, journaling. I just told you to make a list when you got done. So it can be different ways. You can list out all of the things that are sucking your energy right now. Take a look at it, see what can go. You could just do a gratitude list. You can write a list of things you're grateful for, and then follow it with a list of things you'd like to release. Okay. This encourages a mindset shift just by writing these things down. You could also just do reflective writing. Just take time to write about your feelings, your experiences, what you need to let go of, really just writing it down. Sometimes it's really good to think it, write it down, and then read back what you wrote out loud to yourself. You're hitting all the things then, right? And you're really going to shift your mindset. Okay, so journaling. Number 2, we've been beating this into you already, mindfulness and meditation. And I won't go deep into it because we have episodes on mindfulness and meditation, and we have more coming up. So just a reminder though, there are guided meditations out there to help you if you don't know what you're doing yet. And breath work. Work on the old breath work, you guys. And I have a really good episode coming up soon. Just the whole thing's on breath work. So stay tuned for that. Okay, physical decluttering. We talked a little bit about this, but we've got to declutter our space. We got to go through our belongings and donate and discard items that no longer bring you joy or have any utility in your life. We have way too much stuff. We've become very centered around all of our physical stuff. So it can be very freeing to get rid of a bunch of that. Donate it. Feel good about it. Donated it. If it's junky, you throw it away. It's okay. Throw it away. I also saw this little thing that talked about creating a let go box. So write down what you want to release, like physical stuff on slips of paper, or make a list you can check off, and then symbolically remove them when you're ready. Okay, so I don't expect you guys to, in the next 24 hours, clear out your whole house. That's not really feasible. But if you make a list and maybe you check one thing off a week, maybe you write them down and put them on pieces of paper in a jar, and you pull one out once a week or whenever you have time, and you do that one thing, right? List it out. List out your junk drawers, put down your closet, put down your different kinds of clothes, the garage, the shed, go room by room, whatever it takes. This doesn't have to drop quick. Okay. Just like in the fall, you guys, the leaves don't all just here and gone. I mean, sometimes they do if it's a really bad year, and same goes for our life. If you're having a really rough season, you might drop a lot of this pretty quick, but you don't have to. You can take your time with this. Enjoy the beauty of the falling leaves. Okay. You can also do a ceremonial release. So these are like literal rituals. So it might not be donating your clothes that don't fit anymore, but sometimes you can just hold a small little ceremony. You can light a candle, say a few words about what you're letting go of. You could burn or bury pieces of paper with your intentions written on it, because some things are not physical for you that you're wanting to release and get rid of. If you're a procrastinator, if you're always late for everything, if you have anger issues, whatever it is, low self-esteem, write down your thoughts on that, and then put it in a bowl or something, throw it in your fireplace, set it on fire in a trash can. I don't know. Watch it burn. Just watch it burn and let it go away. The next item is have some therapeutic conversations. I'm talking about talking to a professional. So you might need to seek support from a therapist or a counselor if you're working through some really deep-seated emotions and conflicts. Do not be ashamed in this day and age to find a therapist. And if you're going to someone now and it's like, don't like him or her, it's okay. Find a new one. Keep switching it up till you find the right one. Okay. And maybe Maybe it's not even a traditional therapist or counselor you're looking for or you need. Maybe you want to look for a spiritual mentor. We've had a bunch on the show and we're having more coming on the show. So go back and listen. If any of them resonate with you, maybe connect with them, someone outside of your friends and family, because sometimes we don't trust our friends and family. Am I right? We think if they say something, they're taking the other person's side, or we don't trust what their intentions are for their advice or whatever. They're too close to it. They're too close to us. So I would really recommend you find someone, a professional outside of your friends and family to help you through this stuff. Yeah, there's so much out there, especially now that we can go online and do remote therapy. We don't even have to leave our house anymore, you guys. So we can do this. So if you're going through some really tough stuff, do not be embarrassed to talk to a professional. You can share with your friends too, of course. If you have a trusted friend, talk to them what you're struggling about, right? Be a little vulnerable. And I'm talking about these friends that are your branches, not the ones that are the leaves that we're dropping. We don't need to confide in them. Okay? We need to drop them. So we've talked about this, setting boundaries. Yes, we do. We need to evaluate our relationships. We have to identify those toxic and draining relationships and set some boundaries with them. Distance yourself when necessary. So maybe you're not going to ditch them completely, but maybe you're just not going to put as much energy into them anymore. Here's a big one. You get nothing else out of this episode. This is what you need to do. You got to say no. You got to say no more often. Okay. Practice the art of saying no to commitments and obligations that do not align with your goals or your well-being. Think on it. Think on it before you say yes to something. Let it sit and resonate for a minute and decide if you're going to say yes. Because if you're a maybe, maybes are no's. That's my opinion. Maybe I can help you with that. No. If that came out of your mouth, that should have been a no. So from now on, do not let the word maybe come out of your mouth when it comes to these things. You give it a no or you give it a yes. We're also, oh God, this is the hard part. We're also going to need to do some lifestyle changes, right? This one hits me hard because I'm in the midst of needing to do a lot of this right now. We need to set some new routines. We have to incorporate healthier habits, okay, that foster positivity and better health. So you know what I'm about to say. Exercise, nourishing healthy meals, getting really good, sufficient sleep, all of these things that we all freaking know we need to do. And it's so hard. And a lot of times our excuses are, I don't have time for that. I can't afford that. But here's the thing. If you go through this process and you release and let go of things that are sucking your energy and using up your money, you will have room for these things. I promise you. You are wasting more time, energy, and money than you even realize. Okay. That's going to be a whole episode because that's a lot. I've been there. I am there, but we have to do it. It's all part of this thing. And these new little episodes I haven't come out, this is what I've intended for these to do, is help with some of those things, little things we can implement to make our lives healthier and more positive. And one of those things, let me just remind you, is a digital detox. I think you should definitely limit your time on social media, digital devices that contribute to negativity or comparison. And we got an election right around the corner. So yeah, listen, digital detox, get on board. Another thing you can do while you're in this process of things dropping off is you can feed your soul and fill your cup while you're figuring out exactly what new things you're going to do. Just pour yourself into some artistic expression. Use art, music, dance as a form of release, right? Allowing your emotions and your old patterns to kind of flow freely. So if you love to write, maybe it is just journaling still. If you like to draw or doodle, do that. If you love music, listen to all the music you love, right? It helps get you through. If you love to dance, just dance. Sign up for a class if you want to sign up for a class to dance, or just freaking dance by yourself to your music at your house. Okay. Sing along in the car. Just do all the things that bring you joy. And I'm talking about free stuff, you guys. While you're figuring out what direction you're going to head, just do all the things that are free and bring you joy, right? There's tons of things. I did want to mention also another thing with releasing, you know how we're reframing and releasing stuff, toxic relationships, all that stuff, is writing a letter. I would encourage you to write a letter to other people, and even you can write one to yourself, even expressing your feelings. And then you can mail it to that person, or you can keep them just to kind of revisit later if you want to read them again yourself, or burn them. Just get rid of them then. Throw them in the fireplace. Throw them in a fire, right? Release it. Let it all out of your system. Whatever's bothering you about that relationship, that person, about yourself, write it all down, tuck it away in a box, or burn it and release it and say, like, nope, that is not going to take up my energy anymore. I'm releasing it. Okay. And you might have to do it more than once. I have. Okay. So those are all things that we can do to help us when we're releasing all those freaking leaves in our lives. This is all a transformative process that requires intention and action. Remember that. So by utilizing some of these things we just talked about, we can totally foster personal growth, resilience, and a deeper understanding of ourselves, creating space for new opportunities and experiences. Each step taken toward releasing what no longer serves us contributes to a more vibrant, authentic self. Okay, we got this, you guys. You can do this. So we've talked about identifying what things you need to let go of in your life, your leaves. We've talked about some methods to help you while you're going through that process and figuring it out and watching those leaves fall. So I think it was Mel Robbins' podcast that she said that we need to either release or redirect our energy when we're going through these processes. So listen, you're either going to release that leaf and let it fall to the ground, not worrying about replacing it just yet. Just enjoy having that energy back. Allow that energy that you let fall, that leaf, to serve its purpose in a different way. Because remember, the leaves falling isn't sad. It isn't bad. They're turning beautiful colors and they're moving on to serve a different purpose. It's all good, you guys. Okay. So that's okay for you just to release something and just enjoy having your energy back. Or you're going to release that, whatever it is, you're going to let go. You're going to release the leaf. And you're going to take that energy and you're going to redirect it towards something new that's going to raise your vibration and just fill your cup. So listen, you guys, some leaves are going to be harder to let go than others, right? Some are just going to fall away peacefully and some are going to be really hard. And we already talked about if you need a little help, don't go through it alone, right? You're going to find somebody neutral to work through it with you. Again, we've had a few on the show already. And we have more coming in future episodes. So go back and listen to see which ones resonate with you. And in the meantime, just keep listening because we're introducing new spiritual tools for your toolbox all the time, right? And don't forget, you are never in this alone. Your spirit team is always right there waiting to help and comfort you. They really are. And so dive into that meditation, connect with them, let them help you. Right? Call on your angels. Go into prayer and meditation. Tell them what you need. Tell them what you need help with. They'll help you. They will. Maybe not in the way you expected, but you will get the help you need. So you've got this. Do not go it alone because listen, just like the trees prepare for new growth with each passing season, we have to do that too. And we can look forward. Okay. We get rid of all these leaves, you guys, and we can look forward to the new opportunities that await us in the spring, in the path further down our spiritual journey. It's coming. It's coming. We're going to get there, but we got to get through all this first. So let's enjoy this beautiful fall, the real fall outside. If you live somewhere in the United States where you get these beautiful changes of color, and also this new season of our lives, midlife, our spiritual journey, whatever you have going on in your life, you'll know when you're heading into a new season. You'll feel it and you're just going to trust your gut. You're going to trust your intuition that it's time. Now is the time, you guys. So listen, you guys, just as trees prepare for new growth with each passing season, we too need to look forward to the fresh opportunities that await us up ahead on this spiritual midlife journey. Okay? You're not alone. I'm in it right here with you. We're going to figure this all out. Stick with me because we are planning on finishing this life strong. Listen, I know your time is valuable. And right now, I'm feeling super grateful and totally humbled that you chose to hang out with me today. If this podcast resonates with you, could you do me a solid and hit that subscribe or follow button? That's going to help you out because you're never going to miss an episode. And it helps me out because you're never going to miss an episode. And if you have like 30 seconds more, could you leave a 5-star rating and maybe leave a kick-ass review? Thank you so much, and I can't wait to continue our journey on the next episode. Oh, and I can't forget the fine print. You know, the legal jargon. This podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. We're just two friends on this journey together, and this podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or any other qualified professional. You get it. See you next time.